there's this guy on a farm that says we can build like a crazy big step up, so let's do it.
Okay.
And we told the farmer, we were like, right, make it 10 meters tall, make us a pile of dirt 10 meters tall, and we'll come and shape it. And he was like, yeah, okay, cool. And we thought like we'd tell him 10 meters tall because he'll make it like realistically 5, 6, 7. We arrived and it was literally 10 meters tall. We were like, okay, yeah, this is this then.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we have the one. Sam Reynolds, everyone. Sam Reynolds. I was going to do a big intro.
Thanks, guys.
It couldn't be done.
That was plenty big enough.
That was plenty big enough.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming.
Nice to be back.
It's well exciting.
Lovely to have you.
Super.
Yeah, we use the microphone on ours.
So yeah, super excited to be back. Thanks for having me.
Mate,
Nice.
I actually did have a really long intro because I quite enjoy doing funny long intros, especially for my friends, like The Godfather Free, all that stuff. But we actually can't begin this podcast because it's available visually as well as audio. We obviously have something new in the room that
True.
no one has seen. Is this actually a world's exclusive?
Technically, right now, the announcement is going to be going out,
Okay.
I guess, in a few days, in which this podcast may come out that day as well. So it could be today. This might be brand new. But yeah, right now, no one knows about this as we speak.
It's a
Crazy.
secret.
Top secret, actually. Yeah, it's my new bike sponsor.
Oh, talk us through it, dude. Really hype.
Well done, mate.
2025.
No, it's a tough time in mountain biking right now, isn't it? There's lots of sad news every day. I've never seen anything like it. Lots of professional riders losing their deals here and there, teams closing. So to have the opportunity to get a new sponsor, I'm definitely very appreciative of. And
Well, it says something, doesn't it? Doing something right, dog.
maybe, yeah, it was some nice breath of fresh air. Just the excitement coming from the team, which persuaded me across. Yeah, it's Reece Wilson's new team, AON Racing. It's predominantly a downhill World Cup team with a Freeride bloke on the side as well, just to add a bit of big air into the mix. We're riding for GAMUX bikes, which is what you can see here behind me. It's quite a wild bit of kit, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
What's your first impressions? It's definitely
dude,
unique, isn't it?
you saw my first impression in real time when you got it, and actually, I wouldn't be that keen to have anyone just bring in their bike, but there is something so interesting about this. It's so exciting.
Agreed.
And also it's super current, like the fact that we've got so many people, and we'll talk about it more, but so many people adopting belt drive and the Pinion gearbox.
Yeah, it does have the gearbox for those who are just listening away. Yeah, there's a Gates belt drive. It looks like a single speed because the gearbox is all sort of doing its thing before it comes out into the belt drive. Yeah, and it looks totally crazy. Today, actually, this morning, or all day, I've been riding it and testing it, and it's mind-blowingly cool. It's genuinely a different level of bike. Like, I've not always been the most technically minded, maybe that's just because of the bikes that I have ridden until now, but maybe I'm getting a bit older. This stuff is pretty exciting, and to feel it, because they told me all about it. I went out to the factory in Switzerland last week to pick it up, and they told me all the theories behind it, and then to ride it today and find it out is pretty spectacular, actually. I couldn't.
So you're
hide my
fresh
excitement.
off a first ride.
Literally, I still smell. I still got my biking kit on. Luckily, you can't smell it through the camera. I have a chewing gum and I put some deodorant on, but a drop in the ocean, I think, it comes to mind.
I think I obviously you love motorsports and you're super into F1 and like technology and engineering and all of those things, and yet also a dirt jumper. It's quite like a
True.
juxtaposition.
Juxtaposition, it is, yeah. I quite like slamming into the ground, but I also like this now.
Yeah.
What it is, I think, genuinely, for gravity riding, has to be the future, and I've only ridden it for 4 hours now.
Wow.
Right, it's super interesting. I think the change that you've come here super hyped on. I'd love to know what you think it is about this bike that you're.
Yeah, well, it's so fresh because it was literally 4 hours ago that I experienced it. It's like just the silence of the belt. And even if you have a really nice set-up bike with a chain, it doesn't clatter around, but there's still a bit of noise. And when you pedal, there's just that chainy feeling. It like clicks through all the little wheels and the cogs, where there's none of that. It literally feels like you're pedaling a cloud around. And and then it's quite weird that it's absolutely silent. All you can hear is the tyres and sort of the suspension going, and it's really crazy. And even on the GoPros, you can feel it, like you can see it. We watched some back a minute ago, and it's like it's genuinely totally different.
Do you think the high pivot will be? Well, I'm actually trying to work out what this suspension system is. Do you know what it is?
No, that's beyond me. That's for Reece's, and I think the downhill team are even developing this further.
Right.
Okay. Because there's some top guys. I think they've announced the whole team now, but yeah, there's definitely some top. It's a top team, and they know what they're talking about. I don't really know when it comes to suspension design what's better, but the guys, I went out last week, the guys are so funny. The guys running hundreds of simulations on his computer about the flexing, the wheel travel, like just trying to optimize absolutely every nut and bolt for like each new iteration, whilst listening to Slipknot as loud as it'll go, which I thought that sums up the bike perfectly, actually. Slipknot and some Swiss engineering. So like what I could feel straight away was the noise, and so a lot of the apparent advantages of what they told me is that all the unsprung weight off the back wheel of a cassette, a chain, has all now been moved to under your pedals, which is sprung weight. So the wheel can be so much more active. So you can actually kind of either have harder suspension, and so basically my example was that suspension, obviously I use it super hard to ride the ramp, so I was riding the big ramp in the garden, but I could feel it was so much more supple than any of my other bikes on the way into the ramp, like instantly. Okay. And I guess apparently that's to do with the unsprung weight. So they've run some tests over at GAMUX, and they told me I'm not allowed to tell you the improvement, but it's double digit percentage. He said in wheel travel, if you have the same setup, they had one bike set up with a chain and derailleur, and they noticeably could see how much better the suspension worked.
Wow. Okay.
So I think that's the main advantage. Yeah. Also, you don't have to change the oil in it for 10,000 miles.
That is
which
nice.
appeals to someone like me.
Yeah.
You don't have to lube it.
No. I mean, there's actually...
I like having a prop. It's cool.
It is good. I had to bring it in because there's too much to talk about. It's like I'd forget something if I didn't bring it in and show you guys.
It's cool.
I can't compare it to anything because I can't compare it to another bike that has a Pinion gearbox, and I can't tell you if it's high pivot or if it's... obviously this is probably going to be really annoying to an engineer listening or someone who's like a suspension nut, because I just simply am not. And
they can just put it in the comments below, really, can't they?
Yeah, no doubt. But it is fascinating. So the gearbox that runs...
It's electric little fingers here.
Yeah.
Yep.
No way,
dude. You don't have to pedal, you can just shift, which is super cool.
Yeah.
So I think it kind of works like a kind of car gearbox, like a DSG one, where it's got two shafts of gears and it just selects which one's driving and which one's not. I think.
Got you.
I could be very wrong. People can also tell me in the comments.
And that means that you're changing without having to pedal. So
yeah, that is something that I know they're coming out with the e-bike one as well quite soon, which is going to be really sick to just be able to bang through your whole set of gears without pedaling. Yeah. You're never going to get stuck in a gear, are you?
So for instance, you could come off a big jump into like a turn that you lose a load of speed on, and you could literally, like a moto,
you could shift a couple in the air, couldn't you? And get
quite a trick. Tear off, quick shift, land.
A quick zip.
Is it true it can be run as automatic as well?
Yes, that is actually true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't set that up, but it goes to do with the RPM of your pedals. You can set it up to shift whenever you get to a certain RPM.
I kind of feel like we're looking at the future a little bit.
Yeah, I was not skeptical when they first told me about it, but now I've got it. It's like, to me, so clear, actually.
Yeah.
So it does come. It's cool having this on because it comes at a time which is super interesting. Like a few other bike companies have adopted it, right?
Yes.
So we got the Athertons.
I think there's 4 now racing World Cups.
Is that so?
Intense.
Intense as well.
Yeah, I did make a note of them. I'm sorry.
There you go.
There's one more, isn't there?
Yeah, Atherton, Intense,
Zero, isn't it?
Yeah, Zero have for a while, haven't they?
MS Racing.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, MS. But what are MS now?
Intense, aren't they? Or not?
No.
Oh, no.
No. I'm not sure.
You sort of reveal yourself. Yeah. Well, it's quite difficult at the moment, isn't it? It's like that exciting period of the year. Like this is all part of new 25. Doing an announcement. It's mega exciting, isn't it?
January.
It's
A1. Should have
it's
happened months ago, I think, but they never sorted the rules out, did they? So there's been a lot of panic behind the scenes, isn't there?
Yeah.
And I think that's a lot to do with why a lot of people losing their rides and teams are going down because no one knew, did they?
No.
The rules until now.
Well, it's super hard to pitch a lot of money to when you don't know what's actually happening, or if you don't know if you've got a spot, it's not even their fault. It's just
You don't know if you're even in. Yeah, so it's been really hard for everyone.
Yeah.
So have GAMUX done downhill races already?
They have had a
few,
team
right?
for the last couple of years, I think. Yeah, more of like a local team, and then this year they're really making a big push with some elite riders. So Gates, actually, it's quite like a famous in the World Cup scene. The first person to win a downhill World Cup on a Gates belt gets 100 grand.
Yeah.
So there's quite a few people in the mix for that now, isn't there?
I mean, that's super interesting, and I love the fact that there's going to be this in thing happening in downhill, which isn't necessarily driven by the UCI. There's like this extra little bit keeps it exciting.
I genuinely think it's the start of a big shift.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if that was sort of somehow a
Good
pun.
pun.
That was, it was
Wasn't,
quite nice.
but we'll claim it was.
Yeah, claim it. Hey, so this is the Gates belt. It looks very similar to like a fan belt or something like that, right?
So there's a funny thing they say that you almost never do a day in your life without using a Gates belt. They're in so many things. I think they're in coffee grinders, microwaves, elevators.
No way.
Doors, most cars as well. So actually, they're a massive company with a lot of technology. I think there's like carbon fiber. There's like a solid, unbroken carbon fiber weave through there, so it can actually take so much stress. I think way more than a normal chain.
I guess you can engineer the stress as well. Not that in this scenario that's as useful, but like I guess you can add flex into a belt, whereas on a chain that's much harder, right?
Yeah, good point.
And what they told me as well is obviously when, like, why has everyone not got a gearbox already? I don't know. They're developing it, but a lot of people seem to think that through a gearbox and the belt you lose a lot of power. Is what I think a common misconception is, and was for me as well. But apparently, if you have a brand new oiled up chain and a brand new sort of gearbox and Gates drive, it's only a couple of % off the start. And because it can stay perfectly straight, obviously there's no gears to shift across. Apparently, as soon as you shift a gear or two across, the added friction actually of a metal chain, it flips reverse, and this system becomes more efficient straight away. Added on that one run, you get some dust on your chain. That's another couple of %. So actually, in the real world environment, they reckon it's actually a more efficient
And
setup.
obviously for downhill racing, you've got the smashing a derailleur.
Yeah, so we actually we were talking about
issue.
trying to get this deal going for about 3 months, and in that time, I snapped 3 chains and derailleurs. I had to buy 3 chains, and I was so cross, just knowing, soon I'm never going to have to do this ever again.
Belt life, dude.
I've just
Belt life,
that's
good merch.
to
That's
belt
decent
life.
merch. Belt life, decent merch. What? So how often would you have to change a belt? Do you think? Do you know?
I don't know. I don't know what the official guideline is, but
Okay.
I know you should change the oil every year or every 10,000 miles, whichever comes first. It's not going to be 10,000 miles. But
Air miles?
Unofficially, I know that the guys have got one that's 7 or 8 years old, and he said he changed the oil and it came out like as golden as can be.
Wow.
I appreciate we're asking loads of questions and
Yeah.
that you can't have all of the answers,
No.
especially this early into a deal. But
Well, I'm
it's
actually
like
so excited about it. I enjoy talking about it.
Yeah.
It's genuinely like a Formula One bike, and that.
This bike we're looking at now, is this a bike that anyone could go on the website and order? Is that one of those, or is this specially adapted to Sam?
Yeah, so they actually they're building my custom one right now apparently.
Wow.
Which so they're all machined out of one solid block of aluminium. I think it's 40 kilograms. Each piece all comes out of that like a stencil.
Right.
They build it all locally in Switzerland.
Yeah.
I think the factory is actually carbon positive. They make enough electricity to power 30 houses and their factory apparently, so that's quite cool.
Okay.
Wow.
Very Swiss and very nice. And then any metal they don't use is recycled on for the next thing. They've got something quite cool. That if you can see, these are like these bits are hollow, and they push carbon. These are hollow carbon tubes that they push into the frame, so you can spec it for how like that can affect the stiffness of the bike. So my one's super stiff.
Yeah.
They're like super stiff carbon tubes wedged in there, literally wedged in. I think they're hammered in. But like the lighter guys on the team or the girls, or like if you want a bit more grip and a bit more flex, you can put a lot thinner carbon tubes in there and tune the ride completely.
Okay. All right.
Apparently, when you order one, like you can talk to the guys and completely spec it. And I think they warn you. They're like, I don't know if you're going to feel the difference. Like I think they make sure they know what they're getting themselves into. Like really, I think even I don't really know a lot of the stuff that's going on with all the simulations they do, but I mean, it's working. And after the runs I've done, it's incredible.
Have they started to develop your bike then off knowing the disciplines that you do, off the sort of...
Yeah, so he literally is just making some different linkage to make it ramp up better for jumps for me. But to be honest, this one's absolutely bang on.
I was going to say, first impressions, good.
I couldn't really tell him what I need to change, actually.
Wow.
So this thing doesn't know what it's got coming, does it really though? It's sat there all
with all its mates.
Yeah, all stoked, isn't it?
Soft suspension, do some runs, and this is literally going to get fired into the sky.
So where's it off to first, this one?
We're going to Mexico literally tomorrow.
Oh wow! And that's for Freeride Fiesta, is it?
Yep, Johnny Salido's one. I've been a couple of years ago, and I just thought it was a great place to go really test this bike, because actually we signed the deal and everything and agreed. I'd never even seen the bike in real life. I'd just been told enough stuff that somehow persuaded me, and yeah, it was all right. This morning was the first time I've ever ridden it.
Oh, it's mega exciting, isn't it?
So what on there is unique to you, if that makes sense? So have you got your own sponsors on this bike?
Yeah, so it's built up with a few sponsors, like Spank. I'm still is separate from the team, and Kenda as well. But we just have a great relationship over the last few years. So I asked if we could continue that, and they agreed. The team just seems great, like, because Reece is so in charge of that. He's so, it sounds cliche, but for the riders, it's like the team is a happy place, and the idea is happy riders go fast. And yeah, so far I like it. I like it a lot.
So how did it come about then? Because obviously you were on your previous team for a really long time, weren't you? You were kind
11
of like,
years I was with Fab and the UR team, and yeah, it was amazing. It was great, but actually, it was quite a funny story, because comes from a Lotus connection.
Okay,
I went to go to a car launch at Lotus, and there was this guy there. It turns out works for Net Performance, the management company, who is helping the partnerships with the team and with myself as well now. And he came over and was like, "Oh, what are you doing here?" And I was like, "Oh, what do you mean? I just come to see this car get launched. I got invited." And he's like, "Oh, well, might be making a downhill team next year. Would you want to ride for it?" And we'd had about 20 beers by then. So we were like, yeah, definitely, mate. Yeah, let's definitely talk about that. And months and months later, he messaged, and a few more months later, here we are. So never spoke to Reece before, but yeah, he's a super smart guy, funny, and I was hyped on the team literally instantly, and very, very happy.
That's cool. Was it one of those things originally that you didn't think anything was going to come of it? It's just
not at all. No, it's just a guy who was like, "Yeah, I'm making a World Cup team." And I was like, "Yeah, I bet you are, mate. Let's have another beer then." And yeah, funnily enough, here we are.
Wow. Who was that with? Sorry, was that with Reece himself?
That was Paul from Net. Yeah, they're like a management company. They manage the team and a couple of other top boys. I think they manage Ronan as well.
Yeah. Have you spoke to Reece much about it? Like, what's his motivations behind all this? It's a big
change,
undertaking, isn't it? Like coming off Trek.
Well, the tale goes that he tested one of these in Fort William, I think last year at some point.
Yeah.
Was so impressed, I guess, kind of like me, and was like, right, we're making a team next year, and it's going to be based around this bike. Whatever we do, however we fund it, whatever happens, we're going to be riding this bike. And I think we've got like a riders group, and all the riders get to vote. If there's like a couple sponsors that have got some offers for the team, and we get to vote who we want to ride for most, which is actually really cool, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. That is pretty cool.
So there's other changes in your lineup as well. Isn't there?
I've never ridden Manitou suspension before, but I love the Dorados. They're just so cool, aren't they? The upside down forks, they look like motocross.
Yeah.
And they just look epic. Haze brakes, the purple ones look sick. They're purple haze. And yeah.
Oh, it's mega. And then then also you've got Muck Off joining you personally. That's not a team thing, is it?
Yeah, but actually I think they might be a team sponsor as well.
Oh, okay, cool.
I think they might be, yeah, or at least a couple of us on the team as well. Yeah, to keep it clean. I did give it a nice clean for you guys in here.
You can tell.
There you have it. Looks good. Looks good. Oh, mate, it's mega exciting.
Super exciting. Yeah, I mean, I love the UR team. They were great. I love Fab, and he's done loads for me. It was a great 11 years, but sometimes a new change is exciting, isn't it?
Yep.
Gives you a bit more motivation.
For sure.
And after riding it for the first time, I'm super, super glad. Because I obviously knew it was going to be a good bike for downhill if Reece is frothing on it, but I didn't really know how good it would jump, but it's actually genuinely incredible. I don't know if that's anything to do with the unsprung weight off the back, but like spinning it earlier and whipping it, it like feels so agile and so strong and stiff at the same time, which is just everything you could design a bike.
That's what I was going to ask you, if you're like apprehensive at all, especially doing some of the stuff that you do with the, you know.
Obviously, I'm going to build up a lot of trust on it
First, obviously,
yeah. But I mean, I'm not worried about it at all. After just the first day, I'm pretty confident. We took it straight to the skate park and launched it off the biggest quarter pipe to flat. Was the first test, and it passed. It's still here. But I think he told me he put like an extra like shim. It looks like a shiwi that he rammed up its butt into the bottom to stiffen up the bottom bracket and strengthen stuff like that. So yeah, it's really cool to be working with those guys because they're super into it, and he shoved the shiwi in there to make it stiff. Yeah, he showed me one that he made to ram it in there. And,
I've never seen a shiwi.
It puts more strength in the bottom bracket area apparently.
I'm sure I can imagine what it looks like, but I've never seen one.
Oh, it's quite cool to be able to like.
I thought you were going to talk about shiwi.
To just sit there. Go.
Yeah. No, it's quite cool to be able to make these changes and have a. Yeah, it must be quite cool. You were a bit of a bolt onto a World Cup team previously, haven't you?
Yeah.
You've always been like because you've actually worked for a World Cup team before. This isn't the first one, right?
Yeah, no, which is strange because no one else actually seems to do that. But it's really cool. It just comes as a big package deal. All the stuff works together. Like the guys at GAMUX have been developing the Manitou suspension, the linkage, the chain, like where the belt drives, the kinematics. I actually am too stupid to understand all the different things he was showing me. But yeah, they've been working together. So he said that if you just get like a belt drive and a gearbox and bolt it onto a normal bike, the suspension isn't going to be ideal. Like they have to set up the suspension differently and the kinematics are ideal in a different way. But yeah, like I said, I don't understand. Maybe Reece can tell you guys more about that.
He's got an open invitation to come on. We've been going back and forth for years.
Let's get him down.
So
it's a long old drive down to there, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a big one.
Would be interesting. I mean, because it's like a out of the last few years in terms of like technology, is a exciting one, I would say.
Yeah,
I mean, it's certainly
the biggest in the last few years for sure.
It's hard to get past the fact that it kind of looks a bit of a gimmick. And talking about it, I feel like I'm now the gimmick, but I'm literally sold. I guess you can tell how excited I am.
Yeah.
It's all genuine.
That's gnarly. I mean, it's a lovely looking bike. It's cool, really cool. Why do you always then? Sorry, you might have just touched on it. One of my questions I wanted to ask you this time around was like, you always are on a team, and not many other freeride athletes are on a team, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems to have worked out that way. I've always had good relationships. I like downhill, so I kind of know a few people in there, and actually just the opportunities have come up that way around. And I don't know why more freeriders don't do it, or more downhill teams don't invite freeriders to
and
come
have like
do their
a
stuff.
Plethora of riders
it can really
doing
show
different stuff.
What the bikes can do. I don't know how useful the development would be that we do, but I mean,
I suppose it is though, isn't it?
It kind of
it's to the limit, isn't it?
Yeah.
In that area of biking, it's the biggest they can go.
I mean, it's going to be jumping. I mean, that couldn't be cooler. This bike is going to be. I don't want to like scare it or anything, but it's going to be jumping like 100
shaking
100-foot plus jumps. Like
the bolt might start coming undone. I didn't sign up for this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, totally. And like, if it's useful in downhill, like the unsprung weight and the better suspension, it's surely going to be a plus for me and some other freeride guys.
Yeah,
I like what you say about. I mean, when it comes to like stiffening suspension or like doing jumps, you just sort of. I always feel like you just make your bike. For me personally, I make my bike feel worse because I pump my tyres up too hard, I pump my suspension up too hard, and then you end up with less small bump, and then you end up with less grip.
Yeah, exactly.
But you can go up a jump. So, and this is like jumps I'm doing on my trail bike. It doesn't count. It's not the same as 120 foot, but like, I like the idea that you can still maintain performance, and
yeah, well,
get
this morning, one of the CAs at the back there, he sort of I came flying into the jump because it felt so soft and supple, like round on the like downhill run up. It's got a few bumps. It felt so soft down there. I popped the lip, but the suspension's actually really hard, so it fired me into the air so high, and it was like a shock almost. Like, whoa! I thought the suspension was way softer than that, when actually it was really hard. I could, like I said, instantly feel that improvement. Percentage wise in the back, it was real. I could genuinely feel it clear as day straight away.
Oh, it's mega.
So if you can like summarize what this will do for you riding big big jumps, what would you say it is? Like, what are the things that it's going to
Well, kind of like
be
you
an
said, that
advantage?
between what's going to be awesome is when I could go ride the jumps all day and then ride a downhill track down to the car park or something like that.
Cool, yeah.
Or ride something. Actually, this bike would be unbelievable for hardline because everyone has such a problem setting their bike up because they want the sensitivity of the small bump down all the rocks and the crazy gnarly bits. But then the ramps are so steep and kicky, they need their suspension so hard. So it's always a top up that all the boys are always talking about. How do you set it up? Whereas this would be an instant advantage actually for things like that. So actually, like, you could go to Whistler and ride those big crabapple jumps and then have a good time all the way down to the bottom actually, and I'd only need to take one bike. Something else that's quite cool is you literally swap the shock out and this little mount here, and it can go from 170, so you just put some enduro forks in, or 200mm and put some downhill forks in. So you literally, I only need one bike and I can just have two different wheels set up, swap the wheels in, swap the shock, swap the forks, and suddenly I've got an enduro bike. Or
I did notice that, but I weren't, like, I'm not crazy technical either, but when you hopped on it outside and pedalled off, I was like, that's in a really low gear. It looks like you could just ride around.
Yeah, that's
Where on
super
a downhill
weird,
bike,
actually.
you'd be like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. So
high
you can
gear.
get different gearboxes. This is a 6-speed,
Yeah.
which I think is the lightest one, obviously, but I think you can get 12 and 18 for like enduro and stuff like that. But even the 6-speed, it's got such a wider range than a normal downhill cassette. So it actually has like a granny gear almost, which is so weird to have on a downhill bike, isn't it? You just pedal around. You never pedal a downhill bike around in a granny gear, but with this, you totally can.
God, there you go.
Yeah, like the car park test is always quite a tough pedal on a downhill bike, isn't it? Like, a lot of my downhill bike riding has been in car parks, just having to go on other people's bikes and seeing what their suspension's like. Yeah, and I noticed that straight away. Like, oh,
There you go. Yeah.
fascinating bike.
Yeah, it is. I'm hyped for you.
Strange, isn't it?
Really hyped for you.
Yeah,
really
mega.
cool.
Thanks. I'm super stoked. Thanks
Yeah.
to the guys on the AON team.
Yeah.
Stands for All or Nothing Racing.
I was gonna
by the
ask
way,
what it
in case
stands
you're
for.
wondering.
All
And
or
there's
nothing.
There's a Scottish Gaelic link as well. I think AON also is something to do with the Gaelic word for one, or it's like unity and one, or something like that.
Okay.
If anyone knows.
Any help from any Scots here? They're just sat there.
Any
both.
Scottish people behind any cameras here, or
Yeah, got a couple. What's it mean, Doug?
care to comment?
He
He's
doesn't
on
seem
it.
to care too much. He's,
No.
he's really forgetting it. Number one, okay.
There you go.
Oh,
Sorry.
got corrected by Doug, the quiz master.
There we go. Lucky Doug's here.
Actually, I'd like to take this opportunity that the quizmaster got some things wrong.
Thank you.
And he got called out, so he's not always right. Could be wrong, Sam. Don't take his.
I think I actually won the quiz, you know.
Yeah, I think he probably did as well, mate. Yeah.
I knew it.
Should we go to an ad break before we talk about the next thing that's looming over this bike?
Yeah,
stuff?
sure. We're
Okay,
going to go to,
DarkFest.
we're going to wait here, Sam. Actually, one sec before we go into the ad break. The ad break's going to be for Invisiframe. So
Oh, we might
you're
as well just-
Invisiframe.
Oh, there are some top products in Invisiframe, huh?
There you go.
They're
You
fantastic.
do the ad for us, would you, real quick? No, you did previously have your other bikes wrapped, obviously. They also help you with the car.
Yes,
Yes.
Expo and Invisiframe.
Are you going to be doing the GAMUX?
Of course, yeah.
Sick, can't
I actually
wait.
just only got it last week and haven't had time to Invisiframe it up.
Okay.
But I'm going to have to take it along because they're all hand designed, the Invisiframe kits,
Yep.
by the boss man himself. So
Yeah,
he's gonna have to do some trimming on this one, isn't he? He's going to have to do some origami.
I wanted to ask you if you've ever seen him do it, because he wouldn't show me. He
No,
wouldn't
it's
show,
top secret.
He wouldn't show you either.
No.
Oh, I'm glad at
Interesting.
least I wasn't like.
He takes the bike into his
There's no-
room, he closes the doors, I think he puts some special lights on, and something happens in there.
I said, please, please, please. I really wanted to watch him do it. I wanted to know how it was done, but he wouldn't let me.
No, those are the trade secrets, isn't they?
Maybe if you bring him something as unique and strange as this, he might actually allow you to. Like, this
to
is a
see.
different bike to wrap, isn't it? This is going to be fairly sort of rectangular kit.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll let you.
Very intricate.
Maybe I could try it
He
myself.
definitely won't.
No, he's not good enough.
And don't try it yourself. I tried. I was not very good.
I can't even put it on myself. I take it straight to the bike shop.
Yeah, same.
All right, to the Invisiframe ad.
This episode is brought to you by Invisiframe. Now, I've just finished up building my new bike, and the very first thing I did was get my Invisiframe PPF ordered and fitted. In fact, I was terrified to even touch my jet ski custom focus without it, I'll be honest. Now it's done, I'm happy hurtling down the rockiest of tracks without a care in the world, as I know my pride and joy is protected. The cool thing about Invisiframe is you can't tell. The kits are made to measure and you can't see it even has one on. In the meantime, it's protecting my two-wheeled investment, and I have the peace of mind that it will be worth more should I ever come to sell it. I mean, I don't think I will, but yeah. How do I get a kit? I hear you ask. Well, I simply visited invisiframe.co.uk and searched for my bike and model. I had a kit shipped to my door days later. Not only that, I have a secret code which gave me a 15% discount. And I'm willing to share it with companionship members because I'm a really, really nice guy. Enter The Ride Companion, all lowercase, at checkout and receive, that's right, 15% off your order. And that goes for more than just frame protection too. Invisiframe make PPF for forks, cranks and loads of other great products to keep your bike looking great. Head to invisiframe.co.uk and The Ride Companion for 15% off your order. Thanks, Invisiframe. Back to the show.
Great ad.
It was a great ad.
You did that one. It's really good.
It is really good, but it is going to continue because whilst that was going on, we've realised that we have an ad continuation that's Invisiframe.
Bonus ad material.
Yeah. Me and Matt Jones just been on a big filming project with Invisiframe and Expel. So Expel were like the car side of things. So if you PPF your car, you get Expel. That's like the good stuff, and it's the same quality material that Invisiframe use. I think they're partnered together, those two.
I think Ollie's done the van, haven't you?
Yeah, big time. Yeah. It's like self-healing in UV or under heat as well, which is pretty cool.
You're right. Yeah. They set us a Top Gear style challenge. So me and Matt took our cars and bikes to Wales for a road trip, and the video is absolutely brilliant. It's one of my favourite videos I've ever made in my entire life. Like, actually, it's got some special appearances from Rob Warner. And we
also
Invisiframe, exactly. Yeah, he's our producer on the video, and we're basically being naughty boys and not listening to him. And it's a great watch. Even if you don't like bikes or cars, you have to check it out. I don't know if it's going to be out soon or if it's out now.
Okay,
but yeah,
what channel is it on?
The Invisiframe YouTube one. It's going to be
Okay, sick.
Coming soon. It's worth a watch.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's funny. It's a great.
So you're
trip.
in the Lotus.
Matt's in the Ferrari. Yeah,
I know people.
We're just being boys, really. We're just being silly boys and having a good time.
Cool, man. Really cool. So, is there a connection with you and Lotus?
No, I just got one.
Okay.
But Reece actually has
That's what I mean. There's
from
a thing, isn't there? That I'm trying to figure out if it's a thing altogether or not.
Yeah, we all have the same car on this team. But unfortunately, I had to buy mine. Reece didn't have to buy his. So I'm a bit jealous, actually. He sometimes gets new colours and stuff.
Yeah,
he gets to change. I'm stuck with the blue one.
We did a road trip in the what car did we go in? Because it was insane. That's the fastest car I've ever been in or driven.
The Electra, wasn't it?
That's right.
Yeah, the Electra R has 900 horsepower, and so I don't have a link with Lotus, but they do cool stuff. Like they lent me that car to try out. We drove to Winterberg, did a little road trip. The idea was to go to the Nürburgring as well, but they funnily enough, didn't want that to happen. But they actually wanted to send the track crew to make sure we had like decent tyres and pressures and made sure it was like decent laps and stuff like that. And I was like, no, that's too much. We don't want to go anymore, actually. And but yeah, that car was absolutely bonkers, wasn't it? We literally were doing rides around Winterberg and just accelerating, and everyone's sunglasses would fly off their head into the back.
It's really not like something I've felt before.
And that's what, 900?
Yeah, quite unexplainable.
And what's yours?
400.
No. But I mean, this 900 is different because every wheel has its own traction control, kind of. I mean, every bit of power is managed. So it's 900 that's like put straight to tarmac.
All day, every day, 900. It's not like you have to rev up to the top to get the power. You can literally press start on the car, turn it, you don't need to warm it up, and you can just accelerate to like 150 miles an hour, like so fast.
Like proper face melting.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't been in many fast cars in my 30 odd years of here. Yours was fast. We did a hill start on yours. That's one of the.
Oh yeah, you came in mine.
Yeah.
It's genuinely twice as fast.
That's insane,
and twice as big as well, if not more times. Yeah, that was a crazy car. That was a fantastic trip again. Actually, we've had some good times this year, haven't we?
Yeah, man.
More to come. I hope.
Hopefully.
So next on my list is DarkFest. I mean, you've said you're going to go to Freeride Fiesta to get this thing, I assume, ready for.
That's it. Yeah, a bit of a testing mission actually. But after riding it in the garden, I think testing is complete. It's just ready to rumble. But yeah, there's some big jumps out there in the sun as well. Get some nice pictures of the new bike and make sure it's ready for DarkFest because it's coming up in a couple months. So if I needed to change anything on the bike, that would give them enough time to make it.
What does it mean, ready for DarkFest? Like, what's on the tick list?
Absolutely have the most confidence in all your parts, and that doesn't come without riding it. So I just need to ride it as much as I can in the next few months and totally trust it. Like, it's all well and good saying how many simulations he's done and how all the flex is going to do this and that and how no one's broken one, touch wood. But yeah, until you've ridden it for a few months and had some heavy impacts and it survives, you just don't really know. And yeah, get used to riding big jumps. There's not many times a year. There's probably 4 or 5 times a year you get to ride a 60-foot plus jump. Yeah. And when it goes 60 plus feet, it starts to change how you ride. You like fly it like a motorbike in the air. You can like point the bike up and down to kind of keep yourself level and straighten yourself up, turn a bit sideways. You've got like much more control at 60 foot plus. And yeah, it just takes, you can't practice it anywhere, can you?
No, I guess not. Where can you practice that?
Yeah, you just can't. You literally can't. There's probably Freeride Fiesta, the backyard battles, a couple of them. Not all of them are actually big enough, but Hodgie's one is.
Okay.
And then DarkFest and the Swatch 9s, I guess, are kind of the big air events to go try it at. And so yeah, you got to keep your skills going, kind of.
Yeah, I guess.
But it's hard. It's hard to.
Especially when you got a new bike.
Yeah, but amazingly, this is the 10th year, the 10th anniversary of DarkFest. Who would have thought, that there'd be 10 of those, and we'd still be going. Yeah, there's a few of us that have been to every single one.
How amazing! 10 years.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to do some special stuff this year. I think we were planning to build a huge Freeride quarter pipe with almost unlimited speeds. There's going to be a few guys that are going to be setting some height records off that. Some massive flares. I don't know. We don't know. We never know until everyone turns up. A few new riders.
10 years, dude. That is insane. That's almost worth a whole podcast episode. Like,
it is.
Like genuinely, when you think about that as a milestone, that's ridiculous. Like, can we do a mini segment on it right now?
Yeah.
Can we go back
please.
10 years and talk about what it looked like then?
So it started as pure darkness Roadtrip, which is literally what the Welsh guys used to say, like, oh, that's pure darkness. If you did like a sick trick, and we thought it was so funny. Me and Macduff, we called a video that, and we were like, right, let's make this video the most punk rock video we can ever make, and let's absolutely go for it. And that was pure darkness, like a little road trip we did around the UK. To the step up in Pease Lake, had a big section in there. SLP Bike Park was pretty new at the time. That's how long ago this was. And yeah, we were so stoked with the video. It went down really well. That when me and Pilgrim the next year, we went to South Africa for the first time because Monster, I think, launched there. So they wanted us to go and do a little, like, meet the guys out there, do some videos, because actually down in South Africa, there's an incredible dirt jump scene and mountain bike scene. So they were like, let's go check it out, make a video there. And we did. It was so good. I was like, right, Macduff, boys, we have to go here. There's this guy on a farm that says we can build like a crazy big step up. So let's do it. Okay. And we told the farmer, we were like, right, make it 10 meters tall, make us a pile of dirt 10 meters tall, and we'll come and shape it. And he was like, yeah, okay, cool. And we thought, like, we'd tell him 10 meters tall because he'll make it, like, realistically 5, 6, 7. We arrived and it was literally 10 meters tall. We were like, okay. Yeah, this is this then. So that became the...
So you went out there for one jump. That was, at that point, it was just the step up.
Yeah, like a little road trip around Cape Town, Stellenbosch, and then we drove over to the garden route, which is where this farm was. And we stayed there for a few weeks building this jump. We couldn't drive diggers at all. We literally had teaspoon shovels because it's quite hard to get decent tools out there in the bush. And yeah, we shaped that thing up for days. The takeoff, I remember it took one entire day just to pack it in with a little teaspoon shovel with 2 or 3 of us. So yeah, such good memories. And we lived in a hut which had solar power. Right. And it would run out because the media guys would be charging up their cameras and batteries. So we'd just have no phones. There's no phone signal. If we wanted to text home, we'd have to drive 15-20 minutes to go and get breakfast and stuff and like do some quick texts and phone calls. No way. So it was so pure. It was so cool.
Is my memory correct that it was a lynx farm or something? It was
I think it was just,
I swear it was wild cats or something.
It had wild cats there though, yeah. So yeah, you could, like, some of the dogs would just disappear sometimes, and there'd be like big gouges out of the windows, like big claw marks from bamboos. And yeah, I think they spotted elephants there once. There are bamboos everywhere. Like, there'd be bamboo poo on the top of we had a 74-foot roll in, which was that was Pure Darkness 3. So that was even the next year.
That was the tower that you built.
And that was the double tower where we pumped the tower on top again. Yeah. It sort of turned out again, like, we told the guy, can we make a 60-foot rolling tower? And then he was like, well, I found some 70-foot trees. Shall I just make it that big? And we were like, yeah, go on then. So yeah, it was even bigger than we thought, that one again. That was bonkers. But yeah, there'd be bamboo poos baboon poos at the top of that in the morning and stuff.
Is this where it is now? Different spot?
No, so that was, we had those 3. Those are pure darknesses. The third one was, again, me, Macduff, and Andre, who came to join us. I think we showed him the tower and showed him some pictures of the jumps, and he flew straight out and was like, cool, I want to come. So that was probably, one of the craziest sessions of my whole life.
Really?
That Pure Darkness 2 and 3, yeah.
Okay.
And then...
At this point, it was hardtail, right? So it was like pushing the boundaries of big jumps, but it was like, at that point, that's how different it's really...
2 was hardtails, and then 3, I got a slope bike for the only time in my whole life. Because you needed it, there's no way you could survive a hardtail on those jumps. To the point where, then Fest series was sort of just growing at the time as well. Yep. So we kind of went to a few of those, chatted to each other and thought, we're doing the same stuff, let's make it a fest. So it became DarkFest the next year, and we just rode the same jumps that we rode on slope bikes, on downhill bikes, and it turned out they were still plenty big enough. And that was the first one in 2015, I think that is. So this is going to be the 10th version.
Oh, dude, so you haven't even included the Pure Darkness South Africa.
No, so there's been 2 more.
Yeah,
or 3 more.
3 more.
So we've done 13. This is the 13th version of building big step-ups.
Wow, which
is crazy, actually, isn't it? We're little whippersnappers there with something to prove.
Yeah.
13 years.
It is amazing how much it's changed, actually. Like, we skim over the bike change.
How much it has and it hasn't. What we do is we still watch the videos every year before the event to make sure we remember why we started it, and to keep that vibe, to keep that X factor that it's still got, and to keep the riders wanting to come.
Yeah.
And try and keep everyone watching and enjoying.
Has it always had like sponsorship behind it? How long have you been on Monster for that amount of time as well?
Yeah, it's always been mainly a Monster thing, but now it's grown. We've got more and more riders who like more and more food, and we try our best to get some good prize money going. We've got, I think 10, 12,000 euros now, half for the boys, half for the girls. So we're super proud to be one of the, I think, if not the first Freeride event to have equal prize money for the boys and the girls, and to even have girls out. There's quite a few years where we were umming and ahhing as to whether they could do it, and it was a scary risk, but the girls absolutely smashed it from day one, and now there's more and more every year, and they actually almost excite me sometimes more than the boys, and then they party even harder than the boys at the end as well.
Do you think, like, for something like this, you need to have one spot where the jumps stay and it becomes more and more dialed, or do you think you can just turn up to a spot, build? Do you have enough information now that you can just build a line?
Great question.
Yeah, well, we do. We always thought about going to different places, but the farm in Stellenbosch, the Veerberg wine farm, big shout out to those guys who let us do it, is just too perfect. Like the scenery is unbelievable. It's near to an airport, which is easy to get to. Just everything's incredible. The dirt's incredible. We can build whatever we want. The hill's spectacular. There's little lumps and bumps everywhere. The course has a bit of everything in it. There's step-ups, hips, long jumps, massive booters at the bottom. And if we went somewhere else to start again, it would take so many years to get it to the same level. So we kind of have settled in now to just some improvements. We're going to make some jumps bigger this year, I think, though. Some people are calling for, some of the riders want a 130, and I don't know how we're going to do that. Well, I don't think we're going to do that this year. But we've got a few other plans that we're going to change, and then maybe we'll eye up a 130 this year. I don't know. But
I think it makes sense. 13 years, 130.
I think only 7 people have ever jumped the 110. So, it's obviously some of those guys that want to do it. But we'll get a few more people over the 110, I think, this year, and go from there.
Jeez, visually, it seems like the line has got more and more dialed to the point where it now looks like, I mean, I know it's a stretch to say fun. I'm not saying it's not fun and it's not the best, but like, unless you've ridden it, I don't deserve to say it's fun.
You get totally too used to it.
But it looks like everyone's enjoying their time there, whereas I think like early days, it was like surviving.
That's probably the biggest change. On the first couple years, probably up to year 3 or 4, to get to the bottom was an end of the week kind of job. And everyone would go crazy. You'd work. That was the challenge of the week. Now, honestly, there's first run top to bottom challenges, and there's first run trick comps now, which has got so stupid. like what are you guys doing? That's not from me. A bit too much experience, I think, of what can happen if you case the jump. It literally ends your week if you case a jump, because that's that. Your rear end rips out normally.
You were hurt last year.
Broke my ankle annoyingly on a berm last year that was 1 foot tall, 2 weeks before the event. So, I mean, I'm not going to not
Even
ride.
more hype this year then.
Not going to wrap myself up in bubble wrap, but that was annoying. Yeah, that was really annoying. I was gutted. But it gave me a different perspective. I got to enjoy the event as a kind of event manager kind of thing, and just to watch and enjoy the riding, which was really cool, and make sure we made the best product as an event that we could. And I actually had some time to put into that. Whereas normally I'm running around like a headless chicken, trying to ride, trying to do my own tricks, trying to get my own cool shots and clips, and then try and make sure the sponsors are happy at the end of the day, which, it's going to be straight back to that. But definitely some unfinished business, new hype, new bike, lots of new excitement, new sponsors for the event as well, big new quarter pipe, some new everything, new riders.
New child?
New baby, I've now got 2 babies.
Yeah. As your approach, and it's a bit a silly question, but has it changed now with being a dad?
Yeah, in the way that
Is it like more measured, like how
Yeah. Well, it's weird, isn't it? Because my whole life as a freeride guy,
this is what you do, isn't it? It's like
more risk gives you more reward, and then you get more sponsors and get more, I don't know, financial reward for doing something more stupid kind of thing. Yeah. Which now is still kind of the case. But it's hard to get that out of. It's like too hardwired into me after 15 years that risk equals reward. So I definitely have to weigh things up and think, is this worth it? Which is why I like things like Instagram and YouTube are great, because now you can really tell the story. And all the freeride events like DarkFest, the Nines, Backyard Battle is so awesome because you can go make an amazing video with all your friends and it's still, people enjoy watching the content, like contests.
Yeah.
Maybe people moving away slightly from contests, I don't really know. But the excitement of a Crankworks is kind of like worn off a little bit for me, and I'm really enjoying these sort of jam sessions, and hopefully everyone else is as well. But I just have to really make sure the trip's worth it and as short as possible. Like I don't want to, now it's too sad to go away. Like now Freddie's 3, I can tell he's sad if I'm going to leave. Like if I go out for the day, I can tell he misses me when I get home. And so Mexico, for example, I'm going for 3 days.
Are you really?
Flying overnight. I'll land at like 7 o'clock and my bike will be built by 9 and I'll be riding at 9. And so there's no, I don't know.
There's no fluff around the edges. You're just in an hour.
Exactly. Which is cool. There's no wasting time. But it's not like it used to be 10 years ago where I'd go out for a week and a half, go see the sites, go and do stuff. It's a bit more work. Yeah. Which is sad, but the best job in the whole world. So definitely can't complain about that.
Oh, that's nice.
It's funny, like growing up, you had like, I remember a lot of my friends' dads would be like working, away on an oil rig or something, or they'd be away for really long periods of time, and then you got like crazy freerider like cutting his trip down so that he can be with his kid. Yeah. Whereas the oil dad is like, no, I'm away
off there for 3 months. Or a military dad. I can't imagine what it's like for that.
Lorry driver even go away for longer than that.
It's true, you're right. I just feel super lucky enough to still be able to do it and have great partners and sponsors and people who watch the videos. Basically, at the end of the day, it comes down to that, doesn't it? If people don't watch the videos and don't watch the Instagram stuff, then no one will be sending me there to go and do it. So super appreciative of everything.
That's rad.
Everything right now.
What is the current state of freeride, would you say?
Tough, man.
Tough.
Yeah, definitely.
Harder than when? When was the peak or the glory days? If you were to say this is when it was.
Goes through little waves, doesn't it? But
right now
now is the toughest I've ever seen it. I think. Right. There's I really try. I try and make a video every week. I try and really represent sponsors in a professional way. Yeah. And I found it quite difficult this year. There was just lots of bad news here, there, and everywhere. Everyone's cutting budgets massively, and marketing's the first thing to go. So a rider is the first thing to go, and as a free rider, you're even lower down the pickings than a downhill rider, I think. So a lot of the teams that took a long time to sort out their downhill World Cup teams just left a lot of free riders waiting in the loo with sort of no real idea. That's why a lot of people you've seen announcing that they've lost their sponsors in end of December, January, and all that stuff's normally sorted September, October latest. Yeah. So it's been tough to watch. A lot of my best friends for the last 5-10 years, even up and comers that definitely deserve a shot, they're not getting a shot because there's not many rides out there, are there? No. And no. Yeah, like I said, I try and be as professional as I can. And there's guys out there that are just sending it, and that's even harder for them to get sponsors, I guess. Yeah. Whereas maybe in the glory days of COVID, 3-4 years ago, there was a lot more bikes being sold, and there was a lot more people, a lot more companies willing to take a risk on a rider that They don't know what they're going to get back from them. Now they absolutely have to make sure it's almost contracted how many Instagram posts you do, how many videos you do, or how many appearance days you do for the sponsors or coaching days and things like that.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, you just have to up the level, I guess.
Okay, yeah.
And it's sort of it's dropping out the not the weaker ones. It's a super horrible way to say it, but like the top boys are struggling, so the bottom guys are definitely struggling.
Definitely struggling, yeah.
And that could be the future, the younger ones.
Exactly, that's it. Or
It's in a
just
weird
one
space,
guy.
isn't it?
Well, I got a huge break back in the day and just did contests for a year and managed to do well, and that was that. If I didn't have that year, then I would be, God knows where, working somewhere else. It just takes one little thing or one sponsor to give a kid a chance, or to go to one event and show himself to prove it. But if they've got no flight budget or whatever from a sponsor, then you might never see him, which is a shame.
Yeah, yeah.
But we always keep an eye out and at DarkFest and at the backyard battles. I know the guys are always trying to invite some lesser known guys to give them a chance, and yeah, that's cool to see. Whereas they wouldn't get into a Crankworks, you could see them.
The
at
freeride
battle
side
or at a DarkFest.
definitely, from the outside looking in, seems supportive. Like you're going to help each other get an invite to a contest or whatever it is. Seems that way.
Every time we put it out in the DarkFest group, like, yo, who have you guys seen this year? Like, and this year was Edgar Briot. I think everyone was like, yo, get this guy. And there's a guy called Alessio who's called Cornflakes Future on Instagram.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, you're definitely gonna, even if you've not seen him, you're definitely gonna see him after DarkFest. I think he's gonna.
Sick.
He's just one of them guys you see in real. I saw him at Adolf's event, and he was not under the radar, but like just a super chill dude. And then you could see him riding like,
Does the guy work there? He worked for Monster?
Oh no, that's Sergio Leos.
Oh, yeah.
Who literally works for Monster now, but he absolutely shows us off.
Yeah.
He shows us up. He's literally the joke is that he's better than the whole Monster team put together, and then he has to go and put up the branding as well before he rides, and then take it down again at the end of the event.
Beast.
Yeah, Sergio's the man actually. And
Good Monster pun. Well done.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, it's just inbuilt.
Flying off the shelf today.
So this past year, 2024. You also went to Macduff's compound.
Oh, it's exactly what I was about to talk about.
That's one of my favourite. I love that.
Freeride's not dead, is it? Like we're talking about,
Because Matt's out there as well doing
absolutely
wild shit.
Yeah. He's like his house is absolutely incredible. Like you drive up his driveway to like his Kamloops. It's like a ranch, and you drive up and you drive in between the 80-foot jump or 70-foot or 80-foot jump. So you literally drive. And you look up to the left, there's the land, you look up to the right, and it's like wide enough to drive a truck through there. And you drive underneath this huge jump, go past like 4 or 5 new ramps that he's building that are like 20 foot tall, and then just off to just his house at the back. And you can see like out of the window, off the sofa, you can see all the jumps. It's like completely surreal.
So it's like a computer game level of a freerider's house.
It's literally like, there's the freeride level. And then his house is like the afterthought. It's so cool. It's a lovely house inside, but it's just so bonkers. And he's got a big workshop with a gym in that he plays metal as loud as it'll go. And he schemes. He's got like a whiteboard of plans in there that he like writes things on there like motivational quotes and things like that on there for the gym. Works on his bike, welds up a ramp or something. He's living the dream out there. Yeah, it's awesome. It's so cool to see brands supporting that. He's got a huge airbag as well. Yeah, one for a long jump, one for the steep jump, so he's literally got identical ramps into his airbag. So it's a training compound like never been seen before in big air, and he's at the forefront of it. So I loved going there. And then we flipped his big one. It's the first time he'd flipped his
75 foot.
His 75 footer. Yeah, it's the biggest flip I've ever done. Really, which is bigger than a motocross ramp, which is sick because that was always the dream as a kid. Like a 70-foot flip is what a normal FMX jump is. Just to flip that, I always wanted to flip an FMX bike.
Is it still on?
But I don't know these days. I don't think so.
I don't know, man. A couple of weeks with Andrea, I think he might help you out.
Yeah, Godziak launched a huge one at Todo
and it looks YOLO. I know he's not. Well, he is YOLO, but like I know everyone's calculated and they do it on a ramp and they do it off the ramp into the foam and then into the resi and then or the airbag and then into the resi and then.
I saw the clip. I don't know if that's his first one to dirt or first.
It's gnarly.
So and like top boys were commenting on it, like mate, like top FMX boys are like, mate, that's a crazy one. Like it's not like a standard FMX ramp at all, is it? It's
no.
Like
and there's cactuses and stuff. Oh, mate, and everyone's like throwing beer on him at the start. It was really insane video. It was
that
like
event looks wicked actually.
Whoa,
doesn't it?
Doesn't it?
I've never made it to there, but that looks bonkers. That one, the course looks awesome.
Yeah, doesn't it? I couldn't believe that video. Like what a guy.
Yeah, he's just the man, isn't he? Like he's the same age as me. I think he's 33 and he's absolutely pushing the limits, learning new tricks all the time, learning to ride FMX.
It's interesting what you say about like when do you get a chance to, when you get 60 foot plus then the bike behaves differently, what you were saying about that. And then Macduff has this place where you can actually like, I guess you get so few opportunities to actually ride any of these jumps during the year that it's always going to like slow the progress of a sport. Like if it became normal, I mean, it literally can't become normal that Macduff has like a spot like Macduff's in every country. But if it did, or there was a scene surrounding big jumps, what do you think would be possible?
I don't know. It'd be weird, wouldn't it? I feel it's like big wave surfing, you know, like it's cool because you need a bit of experience to do it. You still learn all the time. Like you use every bit of bike skill to ride it, which is great. But yeah, there's such an undertaking to build a course like that. I think it's taken him 3 or 4 years to get it to where it is now. And you rarely get it right first go. It's such an art. It's not like a motocross bike where you can just go a bit faster. Like you've got the speed of the hill and the speed of the jump, so it has to be pretty right. Otherwise it's not fun to be braking into a jump or pedaling as hard as you can. So it takes a long time to get it right, and I guess that's why there's not many opportunities to do it. But I think it's good. I don't think you need that to become normal. I think it's dangerous enough. I don't know if I'd want jumps like that in my garden every day. I got nice little jumps to practice on in my garden. I might try and keep it that way.
I remember you saying like there's literally a bit of a limit to how much you could actually do that in a year.
Yeah,
but like I guess your goalpost would move if it was more available.
If you got
it doesn't have to be 100 foot.
No,
like,
true.
It could be 50. Like I wonder if there is like big bike jumping could be more of a.
It's getting more and more because everyone practices at each event. So like everyone's been practicing 100% more than they did the year before because there's been another year of practice and a few more events sort of going on. But yeah, like I said, 10 years ago at DarkFest, even probably 5 years ago, to do the run was the challenge. Now there's people flipping. There was like an 8-man flip train or something on the 90-footer last year. Yeah. And yeah, it's just like, I guess
it becomes a little bit more like available in that you've got like Davi with like Oakley line with jumps that are, they're tables and they're safe, and but you can go.
You start to get the feeling
50,
on there, don't you? Yeah.
I think one of them's 50, is it?
Yeah, you definitely start to get the feeling there.
Yeah, and like that is just available now. That is there. That's sat in the woods. You can buy an uplift and you can do it.
Yeah, you can just pay and do that actually.
So it is kind of on its way. And then like Vanta, for instance, it has some jumps down at the bottom. Like it is a weird thought that if everything gets bigger, that it can be not normalised by any means. You have to be of a certain skill level, but like.
Well, in downhill, you're going so fast anyway. It's not like it's that much more dangerous than riding. Even bike park Wales, you can probably do 40 miles an hour, can't you?
Yeah.
You can probably do 50 miles an hour at some point.
Yeah.
The step ups, I think 46 or 48 miles an hour at DarkFest. It's not like it's faster than a bike park Wales track. I don't know. So
that's
the
insane,
danger's still
isn't
there.
it?
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's not like, I mean, it can go wrong for sure. Like it is getting normalised, but there's always an injury or two, and it's hard to see, but it is part of it, isn't it? And you definitely don't take it for granted when you're riding it. Like anyone that does it can go wrong quite quickly.
Yeah,
you have to concentrate, that's for sure,
mate,
on the wind conditions. You don't just like, if it's windy, you're not just like, oh, whatever, I'll just give it a go.
Yeah.
If you're not feeling it and the wind's not good, then you just take a step
I love
back.
that aspect of it. It's like way more calculated than what people will probably think if they're not into it. Look at these daredevil crazy people, but it's not that at all.
True, but then at the end of the day, it takes a Tom Eisted to come down and launch a big
Tom.
YOLO off the 110. We obviously planned it out. We did some speed guns into it and all that stuff. But until it comes to Eisted going, I'll hit it, then literally no one knows. And he did it and opened it up. And I think to follow is easy, but to guinea pig it is, that's the real man.
You kind of alluded to it before, but this year's course, are you making changes? Is it staying the same?
Yeah, so we're going to try and make a huge quarter pipe with unlimited speeds. So that's going to be.
So when is DarkFest?
Mid-April, start of April.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
I'll go out in March, do the build, come back again, and then go out again.
Do an episode before, maybe? Catch up with it?
Yeah, maybe between, after the build.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
That sounds good. We'd have lineup then as well, wouldn't we?
Well, we'd know a lot more.
Yeah.
We'd have a lot more stuff going. Maybe we could get Eisted in, get a few.
That's what you did last time.
Get a few
came back.
Yeah, let's do that. That'd be good, yeah. A full DarkFest one.
A special. You boys should come out. Do one live from the riders area, from the course.
That would actually be insane.
It would be fun.
We have listener questions, but should we go to an ad break first?
Nah.
Go
Yeah,
on.
go on then.
Go on. Go on.
Who we got this time?
Right, we'll be back after the ad break.
Ollie, 2025 is here.
It
and
is.
let's be honest, mate, most New Year's resolutions barely make it past January the 10th. But we have consistently found one that is easy to stick with, and that is AG1.
AG1. Exactly. AG1 has been a game changer for thousands of people. One scoop every morning and boom, you've kickstarted your health for the day. It's like the easiest win you'll have all year.
Easiest win, is it? Yeah, it probably is. I have personally been using AG1 for around 3 years, and it's become such a key part of my morning routine. Personally, I either take it on its own, or sometimes I'll throw a scoop in with a protein shake, and it's just boom, it's done. One scoop, mix it up, and it feels like I've done something great for my body for eternity.
Nice. It's said to improve energy and focus. AG1 fuels your mornings, whether you're hitting the trails, the gym, or heading to work. It's also said to support gut health and immune defense. It's a no-brainer.
It is this time of year, mate. You need that immune defense. Yeah. We all know life gets busy, but AG1 makes health simple. It's delivered straight to your door every month, so you won't run out or forget. No more juggling a shelf full of supplements.
Absolutely. And if you're thinking about what habits to start or keep in 2025, make AG1 the one. It's your daily dose of wellness in less time than it takes to make a coffee.
Exactly. Health is wealth, folks. So why not get optimized, cover your nutritional bases, and probably ride better?
Yeah, go with it.
Yeah,
Go with it, yeah.
Yeah. So with AG1, you can get a free 1 year supply of vitamin D plus 5 free travel packs.
How?
Well, I'm going to tell you. If you head to drinkag1.com/ride companion, that's drinkag1.com/ride companion. The links are in the show description. Simply click those and it'll take you straight to the page where you can take advantage of this offer and be a more optimized human.
It seems too easy.
Yeah,
A whole year of vitamin D.
Yeah, I mean,
and
yeah.
5 free travel packs.
The sun.
So when
In a
you're
bottle.
moving around in the world, you can still stay healthy.
5
Wow.
times.
Thanks, AG1.
Thanks, AG1.
We are in question time with Sam Reynolds. Quick fire. Is that good? We could add music, maybe animation. I don't know.
Fire.
Oh, okay. No problem.
Thanks for sending your questions in, everyone.
Do you want to go first, Davey?
Yeah, first one came in from @Davy. That's me. Favorite
Have
monster.
you not had enough? Have you not had enough questions?
No, I'm doing more.
He always adds more.
I
Yeah.
had to add a few more. You know what I mean? Especially quick fire.
Pushes
ones,
to
you
the
know?
front of the queue as well. Look at him.
Yeah, it does.
My favourite monster.
No, favorite monster memory.
Oh, okay. I mean, they're all just delicious, but favourite monster memory. It's just DarkFest, really. Like, that's associated with me with Monster as building the biggest jumps in the world, and they're the company that absolutely 100% made it happen.
Yep.
So, yeah, they're the best.
They're
Thanks,
the
Monster.
best.
Mm.
Beasts.
They are absolute beasts.
2-1 Racing. You're probably going to have to explain this. 2-1 Racing asked, did he paint you like one of his French girls?
Nice. I guess you've seen the Markov announcement video then with Ben Deeks, the Chob Ross. Yeah, that wasn't my idea, actually, everyone. That was
Chop Ross.
yeah, that was actually Deeks, Chopper, and I think a guy called Josh there who decided to try and embarrass me by making me be naked, and we did a Titanic scene.
Did a good job.
Little did they know, I love getting naked.
There's another question here about in that video, Chob Ross is like there's
His hair's really come along, hasn't it?
it
in that
has.
video?
That's the speculation
Yeah.
was actually whether you had to dye his hair or whether it's actually.
No, that's just it's the Turkish delight,
thick.
isn't it? Yeah,
Oh
he's been hiding it under his Markov hat for a long time.
Wow.
And it's been growing under there.
Wow, amazing.
Oh, dear.
Earths has asked, how did the idea of your Siggy polo come about?
What's a polo? Oh, I think he's referring to the IXS polo shirt, which he claims is mine because he thinks I like to go to dinners with the bosses and shake their hands, and I think that's where his joke comes from.
Thanks, Ethan. Thank you.
That's a
Ethan
great
is the
one.
best. Big shouts to Ethan, and hopefully he orders my signature polo shirt.
Oh, this is interesting. There's loads about Deeks painting you. That's obviously really hit the internet running. And then there's also lots
I was
about...
a bit nervous of whether that was going to go down well or not. Actually, I didn't really care that much. It was funny.
Yeah. And there's also lots about the DarkFest origin story, which you've actually already covered. But it's quite cool to see that people really care about
Hopefully
that.
they didn't skip to the end for the questions and they listened from the start.
Yeah,
And they'd
definitely.
find out.
There's a young...
to the end for the questions.
There's a fella here.
Go on.
There's a bike fan here.
Yeah.
Who's asked, will there be DarkFest 2026? Just asking for a friend. And he's called... The guy who asked the question is called Tom Istad.
Poor bloke. He's literally had his family holiday, I think, booked for like 2 years to Florida, and it's absolutely across the only dates we can do it. So unfortunately, Istad is not coming this year. I don't think he even tried to come for like 1 day or something,
really,
or even in the middle of his family holiday. But yeah, just decided that we're going to have to do one in 2026. So
power to him for actually ploughing on through that. It's a very difficult decision to make, but I have respect that he's done it.
He chose DarkFest over. Oh no, he chose his marriage over DarkFest. I think it would be a divorce, wouldn't it? if you quit that one. It's a good one. Good one, Tom. Also a family man.
Yeah.
But even crazier one than me.
At Davy. Dream car.
Lotus Emira. Which doesn't exist, but it's just mine, but a bit better, I think. So
The one you've got is this dream car, yeah.
Yeah.
Sick.
It's the best. I love
That's
it.
cool, man. That's cool.
So you grew up Lotus guy, right? Yeah, or certainly motorsports guy.
Yeah, I just loved cars always in Formula 1 and stuff.
Yeah.
Actually, the first car I remember I went in a Lotus Elise was like the first sports car I went in on a track day with one of my dad's friends. So it was really cool to go and go literally to the Lotus factory and pick one up with Dad.
It's kind of your dad's
Here
fault,
is it.
to be honest. So he should have been there.
Yeah, exactly.
Big Ian's
He
really
loved it.
created your love of motorsports, right?
He has, yeah. And I guess mountain biking maybe sort of filled a void that I couldn't afford to do. And here we are still biking because it is actually kind of better, really, isn't it?
That's a cool thought, isn't it? Do you think, does it help you having motorsports as like outside of biking so it doesn't become too bikey?
Yeah, definitely. It's like another thing to concentrate on. And actually, well, I've got like the racing sim set up at home. And I did get better and better at that. And when I used to do the speed and style and care about it, I genuinely could transfer some lines across and some braking and genuinely some lines from the sim. I genuinely got faster after understanding the sim and getting better at that when I went to speed and style. The next year, I literally podiumed every single round for a year.
There you go.
And I literally was thinking of some things on the track, like, okay, I can brake a bit differently here.
It's not really a thing in downhill either, is it? You can't do it. Like, there's no downhill, like, a good enough game where you could try and
what the
style it.
like.
Exactly. Yeah.
Sat on that in the living room.
Yeah, just riding it, wouldn't you? Like, dude, it would look insane. The downhill sim.
Imagine listening to it if you're in a flat downstairs and the guy upstairs is just training away. Ronan Dunn's bashing away on a sim upstairs.
I mean, imagine it putting you through, like, momentary Gs. If you're Ronan Dunn and you're going around a corner, momentary Gs are going to be up there, I would say.
Double digits for sure.
I would say when he slaps a turn, I'm watching enviously as people go around turns in New Zealand at the moment. When you see videos from Bernie or Ronan or people who are very carefree and are hitting turns as hard as they can, I cannot imagine that being programmed into a sim.
Well, obviously I've ridden with many fast and good riders and do on a weekly basis. I did a lap behind Ronan in Whistler and it was like mind-bending. He'd literally be like, I'll be going as fast as I could down, even something as simple as A-line, which is just berms and jumps. So like the difference is much less than if we were going down like a real technical track. And he would sit down round turns and like rip and pull away like 2 meters. And I'll be going as fast as I could, like trying to set up the turn out wide. I'll be going around what I thought was the limit of grip around a turn. He'd be like squaring it off, sitting down, laughing, and he'd pull away. He'd be able to go in faster and come out faster than me. And then I was like, okay, this is the next level of being fast. Like,
different game.
I'm so glad I don't do that, actually.
It does look it.
Although, now with my new rig, actually, I probably understand.
Racing career
Exactly
on the
what it's
horizon.
Yeah.
Sam Reynolds, World Cups.
Hook me in, Reece. I'm in. Let's go.
Sub me in, coach.
Sub me in, coach. Teach me some stuff. Let's go.
Nice.
That'd be a good video, actually, wouldn't it?
That would.
I'll teach him a backy. He can teach me a fasty.
Stick that in the suggestions box.
Yeah.
Please.
Dude, hype for you. 2025 is going to be amazing. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, man.
Thanks,
Appreciate
boys.
you.
It's been a
Hype
great
for
a couple hours or however long it's been.
Yeah,
Hopefully
been a
everyone
while.
enjoyed at home.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
hopefully
And hopefully they've liked and subscribed.
Yeah, make sure you support your favourite podcast guys and your favourite riders. Like,
Yeah.
it's tough out there, man.
Tough out there.
People losing sponsors left, right, and centre. Just give them a like. Chuck them a like on Instagram.
Dude, where can they
Might
find
change-
you for a like?
At Sam Reynolds 26 across all channels.
Like, he makes it easy for you. Thinking man.
There you go.
26, not anymore. I'm 27, really, but not going to change it.
Are you 21 up front?
No, 27 is all round.
27 Freeride, isn't it?
I'm trying to work it out. Yeah.
Sam Reynolds 26. It's just because of 26-inch wheels. That's
You run that mullet.
No, this is 27 front and rear.
And on that bombshell, peace and love.
Like and subscribe. Mate, what an episode.
Brilliant. I thought you were really great, Davey.
Mate, and I thought you were even better.
Thanks, dude.
Better
Thanks,
than
dude.
normal.
Oh, cheers.
Hey, how about we tell our lovely podcast community to hit subscribe here.
Yeah,
Click on the video on Ollie's face.
that's right.
Click on the video on my face.
Yeah.
And follow us at The Ride Companion on Instagram.
They can like and comment as well.
Please do.
I'm going to try and get this energy and I'm going to bring it into next week.
Let's fast forward to next week's episode.
Done.